Whilst I consider this a companion piece to the Tetris Forever video, you don't have to watch them in that order. I'd like you to watch them both, but you can watch them in whichever way around you want. But let's talk about Tetris from 2023. Written by Noah Pink and directed by John S. Baird. It stars Taron Egerton, Nikita Efremov, Toby Jones, and Sofia Lebedeva. And the fact that we have Henk and Maya Rogers and Alexei Pajitnov, the owners of the Tetris company, as executive producers on this, one, means they probably get residuals, but two, it's not official, but it's an authorized version. There's a lot of things here that you could argue have, taken liberties with the story, but they're fine with it. Because this does lean a bit more into a political thriller, particularly in the second half. And I think that works. It means that it's not just a biopic or anything like that. It adds some drama, adds some tension. And to be honest, given the time, the whole Iron Curtain thing, there's a lot of stuff that we still probably don't know about, in general, about what was going on at that time. So maybe parts of the official story haven't come out, and this is a way of getting some of those things out. And they can just say, oh, it's just, the producers just wanted to zhuzh it up a little and make it a bit more interesting. But I did appreciate a lot about this. For one, the casting and the acting. Like, Toby Jones is just great, and his role as Stein here I think is brilliant. Howard Stein is one of those characters I don't know much about, but if he's anything like this character, I'm glad I don't know much about him in a way. But again, it's played well. We have Sofia Lebedeva, who I've not seen in anything else, and she acts the turn very well. We start with Sasha as, this wonderful, very complex language-based translator, which originally, when I was watching through it, I was like, hey, maybe, this interest in the language is what's made her be a translator, and she's not just doing it to get money out of tourists, like a lot of the other people probably are. But then the turn, when it's actually she was a plant. Now, how did they know that he was going to pick her? Was it the extra, over-the-top language, she swallowed a thesaurus that morning kind of thing? Or was everyone who's a translator working for the KGB, and whoever he chose would feed back? It's hard to say, but one of the notes I made once the reveal happened, I was like, that could explain her advanced knowledge of English, because a good spy should have a good grasp of any language they need to know. But I love that turn, and even at the end when she kind of has a redemption, I love that too. Nikita Efremov, Alexei is a self-confessed wallflower. He doesn't like to be the centre of attention. He made Tetris because he enjoyed the idea of mathematics and games and all that kind of stuff. That's what he did it for. He didn't do it to be some kind of gaming rock star. And he plays that well here. I mean, yeah, he went out to the club with him and things like that. Again, liberties, it's kind of selling the story, and it gave a moment of connection over Europe's The Final Countdown. And yeah, I think he did a really good job. But the star of the show in every single way is Taron Egerton. I enjoyed him in the Kingsman films. I haven't watched the Elton thing, although I think I have to now, because he's just, in general, he's eminently likeable. But in this film, that likability really translates well into Henk's character. From Tetris Forever, I know that this guy is pretty chill. He's Dutch, Indonesian, Hawaiian, all of these influences on his life. He's a pretty chill dude, but he does have a passion. And yeah, Taron just sells every aspect of his character. There's moments of minor facial acting, and obviously acting is about embodying the character, and everything you do should be in service of the story and the character. But not every actor can do the nuances well. Even tiny little bits that you have to be literally staring at him in the scene to go, I see what you did. This is a great recreation, and I'm not saying there's no dramatization, but there is, it's a great way of telling the story of Tetris to perhaps people who aren't gaming historians or anything like that. Maybe people who got a Game Boy back in the 80s, 90s, well, very late 80s. Let's say the 90s or further. Those kind of people who had that pack-in Tetris game as their go-to. I had that when I was growing up. This is a part of my childhood, and maybe that's why I really wanted to watch this. It's sad that it took me so long. It's because it was on Apple TV, and no one has Apple TV. So that was its undoing. But I think this is a really good film, and one thing I want to end on is the music. Obviously the music of the time is used, but it's not always the versions you're expecting. When we had Holding Out for a Hero early in the film, I was like, I know the melody, but the words are confusing me. This is Japanese. This is a version by then. It's actually on the official soundtrack, which you can get on Spotify and other sources. I'm not sponsored at all to say that, but I really enjoyed that version. And then later on, we had the Heart of Glass in Russian by Polina. And then also another version of Holding Out for a Hero during the wonderful car chase. And again, yeah, that's by Polina, and I love all of them. They're now on my Spotify liked list. I will listen to them until the day I die, because I enjoy listening to it in a different way. It's quite fun for me. And the memory of the film. But I think, yeah, there is one more thing I do want to end on after the music, and my voice is going, so I think I should. But I liked how they used some of the sort of game-like visuals throughout. There were moments it didn't work with the L.O. building, but overall, it just made it more fun. Because whilst I say, this is a political thriller for the most part, like I say in the second half, it never shies away from having a good laugh and some fun with it. And yeah, the ending of the film, ending with Alexi's catchphrase of "Play Tetris, my friends," it just encapsulates a great film about a very important piece of gaming history. But my voice is giving out, so I'm going to end it there. So until next time, as always, thank you for watching and take care, especially of your throat.